All right, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good night to you, good morning, whenever it is you tune in. Hope all's going well for you. I got myself here. We got Trey here as well.
Yo, yo, yo.
Um, Took us a while for us to find the time to do it, but we're here, and we're going to kick ourselves off with these Madden soundtracks. Now, this is from Madden 20, Madden 21, and Madden 22. So, Trey, what can you tell us about these games for you?
Um, as far as Madden goes, they were man, kind of sucky. Haven't really had a good Madden game since 13 or 12, from what I've heard. But as far as the soundtrack goes, all three are pretty good, pretty diverse. Um, a lot of different genres, keep you into it. But yeah.
All right. Good to know for anyone else checking it out. If you guys want access to the playlist, I put a link in the description for each of the games of what we went through. So we have, from what I counted, 52 songs in total. All right, I don't know what the heck's happened done there, but let's see what's going on here. Let's just go single elimination. Just do that. So we have 52 songs. So we want to try to even this thing out to make it back to a clear 48, which means we're going to have to remove 4 songs from this. So now I figured that I can take 2 off, and then Trey, you can take 2 off as well.
Okay.
That way you can kind of. I wanted it to work last time and it didn't, but it working. It's gonna be different here. So if you have a song in mind, which one would you want to eliminate from the bracket?
Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Hang on, that's a lot of songs on here that I did not know I added onto my playlist. Um, hmm. Let's go photo real.
Oh, ears right here.
Yeah.
All right. Why is that one sticking out to you?
Um, it just doesn't really wasn't really one of my favorites. Also, I don't really think it's gonna go that far, to be completely honest. But yeah, it might have made it out of round one, but to be honest, it just depends. But it definitely wasn't gonna end up winning anything after that.
All right. Well, photoreal is taken off the list. I'll go next, and I got one of them that's pretty easy for me. I'm taking off Tank and the Bangers back in a minute.
I can
I
I,
have
I can feel that one.
I have no idea how this was made on this list. I Okay, if you know this song, what the heck happens in the last 30 seconds? I just
Madden adds a lot of random songs that you just be like, this has nothing to do with the game at all, or doesn't
and
even
it's
sound
weird
good. But
because this is from Madden 22, and I know that like they try to curate it for a certain artist for Madden 20. I think they did the same for Madden 22. I don't know if they did the same for Madden 21, like if they made an article about that, but I know that they like, all right, this is a Madden 20 soundtrack, and this is a Madden 22 soundtrack. So we're like reaching out to artists in order to make these a fit in the games and whatnot. Back in a minute, by the way, is like one of the longer songs of the selection that they had for Madden 22, because everything else was like just over 2 minutes or under 2 minutes. Like they're really short songs. This one's like over 3 minutes long, and it's got no staying power in anything. I Look, if you want another like black woman rapper to take the spot in this to get you this kind of like vibe for Madden that was released in around like 2021, even I can think of someone that would fit perfectly here. Little Sims
Yeah,
with Rolling Stone?
yeah, I think I heard of him.
I I think that she clearly fits this better than this. So it's like, yeah, there's options. Even I, with limited knowledge, could find someone else that was like way better fitting here. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. What's your next one?
Hmm, let's see. Hmm. Let's go. Well, I was about to say Time Flies. That's one of my favorites on this game. I listen to that song a lot. Um, let's go Oliver Tree, No All Bets Are Off. That song is
All
good.
right.
It's just it's probably not gonna win, to be completely honest.
I have a little bit of familiarity with Oliver Tree.
I think
And
I heard one of his songs other than this.
I know that he was pairing up with someone else. I kind of like remember him back from like his little collabs with like EDM artists and stuff. But yeah, this one didn't feel all that right to me either. At least not for here. All right. My last one before we finish this one off. All right. I think I'm going to get Jufu's Just Do It. This is straight up a Nike commercial. It's not even hiding it. It's so obviously a Nike commercial, and I can't let a commercial be like one of the considered favorites here. All right, I just can't do it. So I'm taking that one off. Like the fact that he was like, "Oh hey, I'm gonna break this down," and be like Nike check, and it's like, "Oh hey, I got the swoops here and all this kind of stuff." I'm like, dude, just stop. Like,
Get it out of
how,
here.
how did a 19-year-old make it on this list? All right, like
Sometimes I think they just be trying to shout people out, like small artists, because Lil Skies, who made Magic, who was on here, I think he was in 21. I'm pretty sure he was a small
yeah.
rapper until he got on here, and then he kind of blew up off of that one song.
Which I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Just make something worth staying, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So now that we have those eliminations out of the way, it's time to go down the bracket. Let's see what we have here at the top. All right. So our first matchup right here, Grip with a 100-yard dash versus Childish Measure with Kick It featuring Jace.
I'm gonna say Kick It. That was one of my favorites on that. Um, I'm pretty sure that was Madden. Was that 20?
I
Maybe 20. I think that was 20.
think so. Maybe might
Yeah,
have been
that was.
21. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was
I
20.
think
But yeah, that was
100-yard
one.
dash is 21 too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kick It was one of my favorites. That's also one I kind of listened to before every online game I played. It was kind of like, if I can't really play my own music right now, I'm just gonna listen to this.
All right, man. Sure. I mean, Grip, I'm gonna talk about like songs in this kind of category that Grip falls into with the song. But I'll do it a little bit later. But for now, I'll agree. I'll think kicking it to take it here and then moves on. All right, now we have Anderson Paak with Cut 'Em In featuring Rick Ross and Instro with Dave East with Lace Up.
Man, oh man, this is a tough one. Not really, because I was gonna pick Cut 'Em In anyway, because Rick Ross just kind of went off on that song. It was kind of like a pretty good song. Like it relates to a lot of stuff. that happens in people, like not just in sports, but in like people's life. And I kind of just like to be like the na 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 like that.
Yeah.
That pretty good. I loved it. Anderson .Paak also went off on this song too. So yeah, that's got to be the one for me.
I think there's certain beats in which like Rick Ross's voice like fits really well, and
Very
this was
much.
certainly one of them. Lace Up, I think it's another category one I'm gonna have to get into later. Uh, so right now, I'll say Cut 'em in wins it here. All right, now we have Nimic Revenue with Win Again and an HD Bin Dope with Top.
Hmm.
I think this one's kind of easy for me, at least.
I was kind of leaning towards Top
I'm heavily leaning towards Top.
because when again, kind of seemed like a. It was kind of trying to seem like a how would I say it? Like a pump up song, but it didn't really get that. And then it was just, one of those random songs that just comes in during the playlist. You just kind of skip it or barely paid attention. But yeah, I'll take Top on this one.
Yeah, like I always remember, like when I was like, "All right, cool, I'm listening to Top now." Where I was like, "Oh, who was that again?" Not a problem. It's just a better song in our opinion. All right, now you have YSP Trail with Count Me In, and then we have Playing Skills, Rest with a bunch of other people I couldn't fit on here.
Um, I have to say Count Me In on this one.
Mm,
Kind of like the beat better.
all right. Hmm. It's just I don't know if I have an opinion either way that's strong enough to disagree. So if you think it's pretty easy, then I'll let you go on. Continue it here. All right, now we have Blackway with Heavyweight, and then Sally Sosa with Number One.
Mm-mm-mm. Number one is in my playlist that I told you about. The one that's like 38 hours long. Heavyweight was gonna make it, but
By the way, Number One was not a part of the reason as to why it's 38 hours long.
oh yeah,
This
yeah,
is like a minute 30. Like,
yeah. It's a very quick and short song. Like it is, like you said, like a minute 30, minute 40 some seconds. So it's not really that long. But yeah, the only reason I will probably go heavyweight is because it's longer. But then again, there's a lot of longer songs than some that aren't better. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse to let heavyweight go on. So I'm going to say number one.
yeah, I do think that like because I mentioned this before, but I haven't played any of these games. I don't own any of these ones, and so I'm just going off of the soundtrack, and I'm kind of going off of like what EA would consider people doing here. If it was like, all right, well, you have like 11 songs in Madden 22, and if they're all kind of like relatively short, then that means they're going to go through a constant rotation. If you're just listening to the in-game soundtrack, like over and over again, which I don't know how to feel about that. I don't think that it's like a really good strategy, but I also see how like if you make those songs longer, it would just make it seem like more of a drag to get through some other songs. Or at least
Yeah.
it's like, all right, well, if I don't like this one, you can kind of be like, well, it's not going to be staying around forever, so you can just wait it out until the next one happens. So if
So
that's how you feel about heavyweight, then we could let Number One go because I remember more of like Number One than I remember of heavyweight, and I've listened to like everything like multiple times over just to prepare. All right, so now we have I don't know or IDK with 24 and Jack Harlow with Automatic.
uh, hmm, hmm. Kind of a hard one. Because both of these songs are pretty good. Um, if I'm pretty sure, because I've listened to I Don't Know a lot. It was also on the radio when this song came out. It was on the radio for like a good 2 months on repeat, maybe a month and a half. Um, hmm, because this song also has a Lil Baby in it. I think. What was it? 42 though. I think it may be Lil Baby. I'm pretty sure it's Lil Baby.
I I don't know if I saw that on there.
Oh no, maybe I'm different. Thinking of a different song. I don't, actually, I don't know. I may be, but I'm pretty sure this song may. I don't know. Jack Harlow's song kind of. It took a while to grow on me. To be completely honest with you, and when I mean a while, I mean nearly by the time the next Madden came out is when I was kind of, oh yeah, this song's kind of good. It's also it's a lot of songs that kind of take time for me to like. Sometimes I just don't like them at all. Sometimes it takes me a couple weeks, months, maybe even years. I've had that with a couple of them. If I was just being completely honest, though, I would probably take 24 over automatic.
Okay. I I don't think it took a while for me to understand automatic. I really like the beat that was used for this one. It's very like it's very different from the rest of them. So
Jack
that's what I'll
Harlow
give
will,
him credit for.
yeah, Jack Harlow will like that.
Um, just don't know if it's like worth saving or disagreeing with him over. I think it's a bit unfair to say like, oh hey, like this song went through like this real long underdog story against you, and it's still like a round one exit. But I don't know. 24. I'll let that go. All right, so now we have They with Dern Francis, Till I Die, versus DJ Shadow with Rocket Fuel. I think there's someone else in here too, but
Hmm. I don't always like Rocket Fuel, to be honest. Never really.
I never
Uh,
really liked it at all.
I don't know. It's kind of just it. It's kind of like a tie, to be honest, because I listen to both these songs a lot. Um, hmm. But I also like the flow of "Till I Die." That was also that also kind of fit Madden. That was kind of like a good song for
Yeah, that's
Madden.
what I'm thinking of too.
Yeah, because
I
nowadays
just
the songs Madden adds don't really correlate to them, but "Till I Die" kind of did. So I'm gonna take "Till I Die." It fits Madden better.
yeah, I couldn't get past the but can you rock it like rocket fuel? You'll
Yeah,
hear
that
over and
was
over and like yeah, I'm gonna hate this song if I have to hear it like over and over again. And
people did
yeah,
say that was the
I'm gonna
annoying part.
easily take this one. All right, so now we have Rika Nasty with Time Flies versus Moray with Mime.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to go with "Time Flies." That's a personal favorite of mine.
Well, any last words about this one? Unless you're miming them out. I don't
Like
know.
that song just it clicks. If it was a song that we went through already, other than automatic, this would probably be the song I would save. Um, because to be honest, if mine went against maybe like three other songs that we went through so far, it probably would have went through. To be honest, it's just the kind of bad luck it had with going against this one.
Fair enough. Well, that's how the randomization works. So, you know. All right, now we have Tierra Whack with 8 and a Bo Young Prince with Move the Chains.
I don't know if that's just me, but I never really kind of got the memo of this song.
Which one?
Move the Chains.
I couldn't really get into either one of these.
That's the thing. This is kind of just like whatever one you feel like is a tad bit better because it's probably gonna get. What song is it going to get? Yeah, it's either one of these songs are going to get knocked out next. But yeah,
I think "Move the Chains" that I was gonna add to the list of the songs I'm gonna talk about, and I don't
yeah,
know if you're gonna understand the pattern of where I'm going with that, but
I kind of do. Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit.
so
Um,
we're going with 8 here.
yeah, might as well. One
It'll
of
get
them
the
got.
victory for now. So now we have Token with "No Game" versus Stunna Girl with "No Rotation."
Okay, I want your opinion on rotation because I want to see if it kind of adds up with mine.
Um, it's one of those, like, other short ones, you know?
Yeah,
Like, some of these ones where you can expect them to have, like, I don't know, some of these, like, need a point to them, you know? Like, if you're gonna have
yeah,
a short song, at least let there be a point to it. I just don't think it's gonna beat out "No Game" for me.
it's not. This song seemed like a more like well, no, I can't say sim song. This seemed more of like a song you play in the club or something. That's more. I never really got why Madden added this into the game because it had nothing to do with football. It had really nothing to do with sports. I mean, I guess if you say throw it in rotation, you kind of mean the football, but like not everyone's gonna kind of get that memo. So hmm. When is it ever a time technology has been on our side the entire life?
Alright, what was I last saying
Um,
when I got cut off?
you didn't like rotation, like it had no meaning to it.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna leave it off at that because
All right, then. Let's
I was trying to
see.
give it to the benefit of the doubt as far as the artist, but I, there's only so much that can take you. All right, so now we have party favorite John Mid with Act Up and Moneybag Yo featuring Tripstar with Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz is kind of get the edge on me for this one. Just kind of fits me better. Also fits the game better. Like I kind of like what they did with this one.
Yeah, I can see that here. Um, there's another one that's gonna go in that category, but for this one, I think it could win this battle. So I'm going to go through. Now we have okay. I've heard it a few ways. Is it JID or is it just JID?
I think it's JID.
Okay. With
Abysmal.
Ambassador?
I think it's Abysmal or Ambassador.
It's
It might,
not spelled
yeah.
abysmal. And then we
It might
have
be
J Park with
Abysmal.
Hit Boy with 2020.
Abysmal and my playlist. Um, if you can remind me, how did 2020 go?
I I don't mean to do this. Because like I said, I listened to these several times over. And kind of the problem that I have is that when you give me something, hang on.
Yeah, no, yeah, Abysmal's winning this one. I'll remember that song now. Abysmal's winning that
I
one.
At least I remember this one more, you know?
Yeah,
And again, I don't think that's it's a knock on this one because Hit Boy's been a massive feature in these Madden games, but this one I just can't
kind of
recall.
clicks, kind of clicks more.
Now I don't think that like this one is a fantastic one by
Like
JID either.
like a clear cut favorite.
Yeah, like I think that he's got some better stuff than what he sent back here, but it's good enough to make me remember that one over this one, and I remember it for good reasons. All right, so now we have Denzel Curry with Shawshank versus Big KRIT with Kickoff.
Hmm.
I remember how Shawshank goes.
Yeah, I remember both of these. Um, did not know Denzel Curry made that. That's one. Um,
I think he's in another one too in here.
might be. And Madden adds a lot of the same artists, like you said. They don't really switch it up a lot. You might get one or two new ones every Madden, but most of the time it's gonna be the same people you've seen or have heard of. It's either their song or a song they were featured in. Um, I'm gonna have to go with Shawshank on this one.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, how do we think about because Kickoff's going in the same category? Things I'm going to have to talk about. And I think I can probably go ahead and talk about it now, considering what the next matchup is about. Um, how do you feel about some of these rap songs being about the sport that you're playing?
Um, I like it, but it feels like some of the songs they try too hard. You know, they try to make it all about the sport. Like, okay, you can put some references in there. You know, a lot of people use Tom Brady as one, Odell, Julio. Randy Moss, all of those guys. But sometimes it feels like they trust, like,
Saquon.
yeah, Saquon. Kind of feels like they try too hard, and it ends up
I
kind
mean,
of
heck,
ruining.
one of them references Teddy Bridgewater.
Hey, so maybe some of these rappers do know a little bit about football, but yeah, this one, it feels like sometimes they just try a little too hard to make it, or to put, you know, things into the song that fit in there, but it's just like, why, like, at that part, or why that type of flow or rhythm. So yeah, I like it, but I don't like it at the same time.
Yeah, because I had to think about this for the other genres of games in which I play, right? Like, I'll play some skateboarding games, and I'll listen to music when I do it. None of the music that I listen to is about skateboarding, and I'll go on and I'll play a wrestling game, for example, and then you can either listen to like the entrance music, which we could probably get into that in another bracket, but I won't listen to music that's about wrestling. I will, play like motocross racing. Big fan of that growing up as a kid. And I'll play those games, listen to music, and I won't ever have those songs be about motocross racing or like other kind of racing games. I'll play them and it's not really about racing. So why is it different here that when this game franchise reaches out to artists, they're like, "Oh yeah, I think people want to listen to football when they play football." It's just I want the music to really like complement the experience and not to reiterate it, you know?
Yeah,
Like I just feel so weird about like this being an exception, or like when people play basketball, they'll often listen to like some of their artists and not really every single song's about basketball as they do it. Sometimes I've heard like they'll listen to football songs while playing basketball. I've heard that one. But it's just like you go into different genres and these different activities, and it's not very likely that you're listening to music that's about it. It's just so weird to me.
yeah,
And when you cap it off with like all the references and all these different things, or when you're talking about the game itself, right? Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about that when I have to listen to this almost every day, because Madden's been that type of game where it wants you to come back for daily events, and like depending on how you play, like it wants you to come back consistently. And this is the soundtrack that where it's like they designed for you to come back to. I'm like, yeah, I can't stick around with that. So moving on with that, now we have Toko's Revenge with Irresponsible, and then Snoop Dogg with just literally Madden 20. Like I got rid of Just Do It because it was straight up a commercial. This is about a commercial of a game that you just bought. And it's like Snoop has done this before, by the way. He's made a song that was about the topic, and even that one in the past was better than what's going on here. In both songs, he was like flexing about how his talent is in playing the game and how he's like better.
yeah.
But this one, it just doesn't work at all.
They also did put Snoop in the Superstar KO thing that year. Kind of blew up. Is it me, or has Snoop Dogg kind of involved himself with a lot of Madden lately, or at least in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's more like recent, but I don't know if I want this to move on. Like, I'm
I,
not saying that I don't like Snoop Dogg.
yeah,
I'm
Snoop
just
Dogg is
saying that
great.
I don't like this song that's made by him because it's not much of a song, more of it is an advertisement.
It's a commercial, literally an in-game commercial.
So I kind of want to just stay with irresponsible just just because.
I could do that one. I could definitely see that one.
Now, if you want the other song as the example of like, oh hey, like Snoop Dogg has done this in the past, it's Need for Speed Underground 2. He made a Doors Riders on the Storm remix. It was like a 6-minute long song, but it gave you a perfect vibe and feeling of that entire atmosphere and game. And that was like normally the first thing you hear when you boot that one up. And it was so awesome to see that. This is not, this doesn't match that at all. And that game was like 20 years old now.
I still gotta say
So,
that Madden 20 was terrible too.
all right. So now we have Ruben Vincent with no problems. And then Joey Badass with incredible. I think this is like an instrumental, right?
Yeah, mostly.
So people like kind of left it off of the playlist when they were like when they made it on YouTube. I was like, no, I know it's in the game, so gotta include it here. So
I
how do I
probably have to
feel?
go with I probably have to go with no problems. I can't really listen to instrumentals while I'm trying to play a video game. It doesn't work.
I could if they weren't meant to be a song that just got the lyrics chopped off. Like if it was meant to be an instrumental, sure, I can get behind it. But if you can tell it's like, oh yeah, there was supposed to be another song here, like then yeah, that kind of takes you out of it. So yeah,
I, I never really
if
got the meaning of adding a song if you're just gonna basically have to remix it just to add it in there.
well, I mean, what we talked about in this and the NFL Street one, it's like the Braveheart's quick to back down, and it was just the hook, like it was instrumentals the rest of the way.
But see, NFL Street made up with it because it was a good game. Madden 20 was a solid 6 at best. That was on a good day.
And that's some IGN right scores right there. So good with no problems.
Yeah.
All right, don't have a problem. All right, now we have Sage the Gemini with big numbers and a little skies with magic.
I'm gonna have to go with Magic here. Magic, in my opinion, has the potential to make it to the final round. It just depends on the songs it matches up with going along with that. I just like the beat to that. Like that was pretty good. Also, was a pretty good lyrics and flow too. Song kind of went together as a whole. You know how some songs or a lot of rap songs they'll say this and then they say that and then they go back to this and then they'll go some 20 years ago and now you have a random thing you're talking about. Like he actually stuck with it. He made the whole song about what it was supposed to be, what the hook was about. Like I just like with the hook, the hook too. He this was like a solid song that I'd be like, man, like I gotta listen to this before games. You know, this song put me in a mood.
Sure. Whereas like big numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
That's
I never really liked that song
don't
from the
worry. If
beginning.
you like my version of saying that, it's gonna say it like 20 more times in the song. So
And over again, not just like maybe 5 here, 5 there. Like you're gonna get that like 20 times here and then another 15 times there and another 12 times there. Like, yeah, that song is pretty annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, magic's gonna go through. So all right, so now that is the final thing for round one eliminations. Now we're gonna move on into the round two, but before we do that, I want to talk about the actual title that I put the stream as. And I don't know if you saw it, Trey.
I saw it for a little bit when you had lagged out.
Okay, so title of this is Madden's role in a dying music genre. I'm not talking about rap and hip hop here because obviously there's like 48 songs here. That's pretty much just that. What I'm talking about is what the heck happen to rock? It hasn't been in a Madden since Madden 17.
Might have been Madden 16.
And the only songs in which like that was a part of it, they're like Kiss, Rock and Roll All Night, or like Crazy Train, or and things like that. Like you'll still play those like in the actual game stadiums when you go to an actual game, but they're not really present in the Madden soundtracks anymore.
Not really present in any soundtracks in games. I don't hear them in 2K, Madden, GTA. Of course, you will. GTA just adds random songs in there, so you can't really say there's a couple rock and roll
Plus,
songs.
they have like radio stations in the cars and stuff, so like they'll have their own options. But whereas here, Madden has had a soundtrack since 2003 in their games, and when they were getting recognition for what they were putting in the soundtracks, it was working. It was a successful game on top of a successful track list, right? Like I want to say Madden 2005 won the best song found in a game that year when they put Green Day's American Idiot in it. So it's like, yeah, the early stuff had a lot of notoriety and recognition to it. Now I see what would have been 52 songs that are mostly the same genre or the same style as music. Which, I mean, if you would have told me that we were covering like 3 different rap albums, I wouldn't have had a problem with this. But this is 3 Madden games. These are 3 years in which Madden would have represented how the music industry is right now. And the fact that they went to certain artists and we only got songs that were like mid or forgettable, it just makes you wonder like where else could they have used those slots for? Because back then they had a ton of variety. And they were and they were like being awarded for having the variety. You know, like anytime in which you can have like I don't know, Five Finger Death Punch and Lil Wayne in the same kind of album or in the same kind of like track list, that's what Madden 12 was. So I'm like, yeah, cool. We can have like Beastie Boys. We can have who else was in there? You have Korn. Like we can have like a mix of things, and it still works well with creating an atmosphere for the game. And now it's not existent. So just think of it this way, right? Like, let's say that these are 52 songs and they're representative as like food, right? Maybe this is a pizza or maybe this is a burger. Whatever's your choice. If I tell you that every single time you're hungry, I'm going to give you the same kind of food 52 times in a row. How long is it going to take for you to get tired of what I'm feeding you? Are you there?
What in the? How did that happen?
Somehow the audio went to the car. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Somehow the audio
Okay,
went
now
to
we're
the
back.
car. 45 minutes. But yeah, I'll probably get tired of it, to be honest. I kind of like to
How
switch up
quickly?
things. It just depends on how good the songs are. Well, not the song, but how good that type of whatever we're talking about is. Like,
So let's just say
okay,
that, like, all right, cool. I'm gonna like, oh, you're hungry? Here, let me get you a burger. And then the next time you get hungry, oh, you're hungry? Here, let me get you another burger. Oh, you're hungry? Oh, yeah, cool. Let me get you another burger. Eventually, I'm gonna hate burgers. Like, not because that I like overall have a disliking for them. It's just when that's all you give me, I'm gonna get tired of it faster. I want something else. So when I look at these 3 games, and that's all I'm seeing is like, oh, I got hip hop, I got rap. All right, I if this was a rapper hip hop album, I wouldn't have a problem because I knew what I signed up for. But you mean to tell me that there's no other artists in which you could go to? There was nothing else in the other genres? Not that you don't know that they exist, because they clearly do still. They're still getting tour dates. They're still getting shows. They're still getting radio plays. But it's just where's their slots here when Madden used to be like a big representation of how music is. It's just so weird that they're not here anymore. Then they're not representing anything right. So that's kind of like my disappointment here. And like with the rock or metal industry, what's happening in that world is, well, a lot of artists in which you would know from about 20, 30, sometimes 40 years ago, they're the ones that are still getting shows. They're still the ones that are getting radio play. What about the new bands from like 10, 5 years ago? You probably never heard of them. And because you never heard of them, you're probably not going to want to listen to them, or in the same way as you would a band that you're familiar with. So what they'll have to do is that those bands that you knew are going to have to like have new bands open for them at their shows, which is what they do, in order for them to get recognition. That way, it's not a matter of, oh, well, you're giving me a bunch of new bands, but I don't know any of them, and I don't want to take the financial risk of like going to a show and then not finding a single artist that I'll like when I leave. At least give me someone that I remember to go back to and play like those songs that I loved in the past. And then maybe someone else I'll find in between. So it's like, even if you're a new band right now in the genre, you're not going to get recognition right away. If you send them a new song, they're probably not going to give it to you or let you play it on the radio. So, to me, when I look at it as like a fan of both genres, it's never been harder to be a rock band right now, and it's never been easier to be a rapper right now. Because like we just said, there's a 19-year-old that was a part of this Madden track list that I don't remember him doing anything before or after. And it's like, now, if you want to be a good band, you would have had to have been made in the early 2000s and the early 90s in order to still get recognized right now, like 4 decades later. These are the only people that people are going to see. And it's just really, really sad that this kind of music is dying almost. And I don't know what it's going to take in order to fix it, because all the solutions, they're kind of trying the solutions. And if this is what you went off of, right? If you went off of a Madden game and you looked it up on Spotify or on the YouTube thing, the algorithm is just going to give you more of the rap and hip hop that you're listening to now. None of the algorithms are going to work on getting you a new thing to listen to, because the soundtracks you're looking at don't give you a new thing to listen to. It's the same burger every single time. It doesn't matter who makes it. It doesn't matter what ingredients they leave in or put out. So it's just frustrating that, I remember them having a lot of variety, that you can respect both rock, rap, hip hop, metal, this kind of stuff, anything in between. But now I looked at the Madden 23 or Madden 24. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, hey, we're going to praise, Madden wrote out, oh yeah, we're going to push the hip hop industry, and we're proud to represent them in such a way. And I'm like, yeah, you used to represent other genres too. You forget you did that? Now again, like, don't get me wrong, I still like rap and hip hop, but after a while, like, you need to give me something else as like a breather. So it's kind of like where I'm a little bit annoyed at, and that's not even talking about the different songs that are about the game. That's not even talking about the songs that we just removed because they didn't fit anything. That's not even talking about the length of the songs because of how bad and how poorly Spotify and SoundCloud and all these other like music stations are treating these artists. It's just such a shame that this is what it's come to. We're just reviewing the same burger, and I can't even remember some of these ones. And that's even worse for these artists.
Yes, I don't think they have a rock song in 23 either. Well, I know about 24. I have to go get that one soon.
I mean, that's what I said. Like that's where the website came from. There was an article about Madden 24. It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna push the hip hop industry. I'm like, well, yeah, cool. 20 years ago, you were known for having rock and punk and all this other stuff, and it fit the games because it gave you an atmosphere rather than giving you an advertisement. But all right, that's the direction you want to keep going. That's just another thing for me to point the finger at EA. It's like, yeah, they're not doing that right either. So with that out of my system, let's move on to round two. So now we have Belly and Shanisa with How I'm Feeling, and then Charlotte's Major with Kick It.
How do you feel about how I'm feeling?
I think you know about how I feel about every single one.
True. To
Like,
be honest,
oh yeah, Belly and Shanisa, they made a burger. Cool. Let's compare it to a Childish Major burger. Cool. And then we got another burger over here, and then we got another burger over here. That's all I'm gonna see it as until I see some extra variety. Which it's not the responsibility of these artists to provide it for them either. It's like it's EA or Madden's responsibility to go out and find these artists that have a successful song as a part of them and be like, hey, we want that song to represent our attitude for the game. Because in the songs in the past, like they weren't ever about football. They didn't have to be. They were just good songs in general. And that's what I want to listen to. So when you kind of like tailor make it to a song that's about a game that like not a lot of people liked, at least make something good out of it to redeem it.
I always wanted some
So
more
that's how
variety.
I'm feeling.
To be honest, probably gonna go with how I'm feeling.
And I'll let you take it. Because with 100-yard dash, I think it was kick it, lace up, I think wrist maybe. I think 24. And then move the chains. Think rotation. Blitz. Kickoff. Madden 20, obviously. Like these were all about football. And there's even more that we have yet to get to in round two. And it's like, yeah, after a while, I'm not gonna feel good about it.
Yeah.
So now we have Anderson .Paak Cut 'Em In featuring Rick Ross and BRS Cash with Oh No. This one's incredibly easy for me.
Yeah, it's Cut 'Em In.
Yep. This is a meme song. Like, it couldn't have. I can't even say it aged poorly. This was a bad idea from the get go. And I look at examples of these songs and I'm like, are you sure that no other rock artist was available for you to replace them? I don't need the freaking oh no meme to take over here because that just ages your track list so poorly. So I'm like, yeah, cut him in. That's gonna win because it's a freaking song. All right, so now we have NEZ with Work featuring Duckworth and Body or Saint Body, and then AC Been Dope with Top.
Hmm. Probably got to go with Work. Well. Never mind. Yeah, let's go with Top.
I was familiar with Duckworth in something else. I kind of like his style too, but yeah, Top just gives me more energy.
A lot more energy.
So, is this something you could save?
Yeah.
Have we gotten to that conversation so far?
Yeah.
If that's
I'll
the
say
case,
that.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and. So let me just do this. All right, so saving Work. I'll be a part of that, and then Top will go through. All right, so now we have Count Me In versus Backstage Pass.
I think I have Backstage Pass on my playlist. Hmm. Hmm. I think I have both of these on my playlist. Might be right after each other. Um, Probably gonna have to say Backstage Pass. I kind of just liked it better.
Hmm. I'd probably slightly lean towards Count Me In personally.
Oh no,
But
it's
I
kind of because because which one? I know Backstage Pass came out at 21. Where did Count Me In come in? Was that 22?
think so. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, it was in 22.
Yeah. Because 22 did have a pretty good soundtrack. I'm not gonna lie to you. That and 21. They both have pretty good soundtracks. Um,
But like I said, they
hmm.
are really small songs, like 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute 37,
Yeah.
2 minutes, 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes. Like, I mean, that's gonna be like a 35-minute like
Playlist.
loop.
Yeah. It can get annoying. It comes to a point where you're just like, let me just turn my speaker on, listen to my own music. I did that a lot with 21. Let's see. I hmm. Because I don't know, I'm thinking. Because Backstage Pass, I think it was like 2 minutes 30 seconds. Count Me In was like 250 something. May have been 3 minutes on a dot. Um, like I said, I'm not
And a
gonna.
Backstage Pass was almost a 4-minute song.
Yeah. Wait, 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 wait. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Um, we could really flip a coin on this one, to be honest, because they're both pretty good songs.
Uh,
Which one do you think will fare better, like in the next round? To like completely honest.
it's going up against Top.
Uh,
I let Backstage Pass take it here, though.
Might as well. Let something cross over.
All right, now we have Black Sabbath with Flag on the play, and then Sally Sosa with number 1.
Flag on the play. It's one of the most Madden songs I have ever heard in my life. It really was. That song right there, you could just tell Madden. If that song wasn't out before Madden came out, you know that song was in production when they were making the game. Like that is one of the most football Madden generic songs I've ever heard in my life.
Why, of all titles, would you put Flag on the play? Like, you're trying to say that, like, oh yeah, I just made a play. Like Julio with the Falcons, I done made a play. But this is a penalty.
Like I said, some people just try
this
too
play is
hard.
not going to count, most likely.
Some people just try way too hard.
I think you also mentioned like Todd Gurley as well. I'm like, man, that's
You
that
mentioned
aged horribly
Julio.
too.
He mentioned Todd Gurley. I think he mentioned Odell. It was a couple of NFL stars at the time that he mentioned.
I think Lamar was on here too.
Yeah, Lamar was because he was the cover athlete. So yeah, Lamar
Yeah,
was on there.
and this was I think this was the one that put Bridgewater too.
Yeah, I think that was his
I think you
comeback year.
mentioned someone else.
Was he playing for the Broncos that year? Because that was
Was it
2020.
Panthers?
Maybe have been Panthers. It was either the Broncos or the Panthers. Because I know he was starting when that song came out, or he was getting playtime until he was benched. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go with number 1 here. That's a clear better song, and to be honest, he just tried way too hard, like way too hard.
Like you could even get us Falcons fans to
Like
to like it when you mention Julio, and I think like if you continue it, it was talking about he made like Julio he made a play in the red zone. I'm like, bro, red zone was unfortunately like one of Julio's kryptonite.
too big. People just doubled him. But hey, once
So
doubled, somebody else is open. But yeah, gonna have to take number 1
we'll
on that.
just let number 1 take this over. Now we have IDK with 24, and then Pilo going big.
I'm probably have to go with 24 here.
All right. Anything to say about this one though?
It was never really one of my favorites. Never really kind of rocked with it. It just kind of, it just seemed like a song I would let pass by. Some songs on gameplay. So just, you know what? You're either gonna skip it or you're just gonna let it pass by. I think that was a song you just like let pass by.
All right then. Well, I guess 24 is moving on. So now we have Earth Gang with Powered Up, and then they and Dylan Francis with Till I Die.
Till I Die would probably be this one.
Yeah, I at least I do remember Powered Up because this was kind of more a little bit more adventurous out of the rest of the group.
Yeah.
But just wasn't enough to kind of overtake this one. I took a liking to it like almost instantly when I heard it. So now we have Rico Nasty with Time Flies versus Juicy Fruit with Champion.
Time flies. Time flies.
You
Yeah.
already know how we feel about all that kind of stuff. All right, another hit blow. No L's featuring Saweetie and Tierra Whack with 8.
This was the
It
one
just auto
song,
corrected me here.
one of a few songs that has Saweetie on it that I can actually listen to. One of the few. I don't listen to a lot of Saweetie songs. I really don't. But it's like one of the few where she actually kind of did something. So I'll give her that. Plus, we all knew 8 wasn't going to make it past this song anyway, because the last round we were just picking a song that would just go up against this one. So
Yeah. All right, so now no L's. Hasn't taken an L yet. Now we have Toka with No Game versus Loot featuring Black Soul. Get it and go.
mm, mm, I'm going to see what you say on this one. I want to see what you say on this one.
Man, going back to my memory banks. I feel like I should have. All right, so Get It and Go was from 21. I think No Game was from 20.
Yeah, it was from 20.
All right. I think overall I had a slightly better experience listening to the 21 soundtrack than the 21. And No Game was one of the ones that would have given me an exception. But I just don't. I don't feel too strongly about either one. So what does your
To me,
allegiance lie?
so I think No Game kind of just tally by 5.5 kind of outreaches Get It and Go. Maybe it's the beat for me.
I can see that too. So I think we'll let this one go through.
Yeah.
All right then. All right, so now we have 42 Doug with Down Ready Set featuring Moneybag Yo with Tripstar with Blitz. 2 football songs going at it. What do you know?
Blitz, go on and go ahead. 42 Doug made me irritated with this one. He irritated me with this song.
So much you couldn't even speak for a second.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have JID with
Man,
Imbecile or Embassal. Some, jeez.
why
Don
does
Toller, back up.
this have to go against Don Toliver, man? Ah, man. Over the last 3 years, I would say I've kind of made myself a Don Toliver fan. Like, I listen to a lot of his music, a lot of the songs he produces, he's featured on. Imbecile is a good song. Do not get me wrong. It is a good song, but Don Toliver, man, it's just can never have too much Don, man. Can never have too much Don.
Yeah, I will say that like this one from JID, this might have been in the category, at least in my opinion, of like I think he's also trying a bit too hard here.
Yeah, he was.
And that's kind of the problem when you have like a business come up to you when you have to make a song about them, right? It's really like a fish out of water experience for some of these artists. And some of them will either just make a song that they're good at, and then some of them will just lean too heavy into the subject matter to where you couldn't enjoy that one either. Where it's like, all right, if I want to let Madden kind of dictate how I feel about this music. I don't want it to be from someone that's trying too hard to be themselves to kind of like advertise. Because I feel like this is what it's doing here in a way. Where it's like, I've heard JID, I liked him. And yet he gets his own song here, and I don't really like. Just doesn't seem like it would be in the same category as one another. So I'm willing to let backup be here and move
I got
on.
a question though, and this kind of goes with like a business coming up to you for a song. Have you ever heard of the song, that was kind of like the teenage when they came out with the first TMNT movie back in 2014, and it was kind of like that song they had at the end of the movie. I don't know why I can't remember that.
Said 2014. Yeah, I can't really find it at the moment. So hang on.
I forget who was on.
Soundtracks. You're referring to Shell Shocked?
Yeah, Shell Shock. Yeah,
With the Ty Dolla Sign, Juicy J, Kill the Noise,
yeah.
Wiz
That,
Khalifa.
that song right there was more of the.
All right, so look, we're gonna sit out here. We turn the lights off. All that shit. All right.
All right. Right there was what you're supposed to do when you have to make a song for like a game or a movie or a TV show. That's what you're supposed to. You're supposed to not try too hard, but still try. And that's what they did.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kill the Noise.
Yeah.
As a member of the EDM and dubstep community. So he's been a long time representative. And I've always liked how he treats his stuff. Because there's been other like EDM artists that made their way into like Madden soundtracks in the little bit. Like Madden 16, I think, has Xylent on there. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Because like I know them from other things. And it's good that they gave it some representation at the time. Now we almost don't get anything like that, but yeah, so
Yeah.
So I think we'll let backup go here.
Yeah.
And we'll move on. Jay Critch, I'm a Star versus Denzel Curry with Shawshank.
Probably gonna have to go with I'm a Star. Well. Actually, I'm gonna revert on that. I'm gonna go with Shawshank.
Yeah, I think that I get tired of Shawshank less.
Yeah.
So, like, Denzel Curry's been one of those people where it's like, I kind of want to know what he's saying. And yeah, Drake Critch didn't do that for me. So, we'll let that one pass. Now we have Tokyo's Revenge with Irresponsible versus Terrell Hines with On Fire.
I'm gonna have to go with On Fire here. On Fire was one of my favorites off of that 21 soundtrack. just the beat, the people who wrote it, um, the flow of how they kind of sang on it. I just love that song. That's a song that gets to me a lot.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna stop you, so I'll let that one go. And we move on with Sway Lee with Jack Harlow with Ball is Life versus Ruben Vincent with No Problems.
Jack, I'm gonna let you have a song here. I'm gonna let Ball is Life move on with this one. No Problems is a good song. Just one kind of have to let one of Jack's songs go too. It's kind of just a good song. It's a pretty good song. Kind of goes with Madden too. Not
I
too hard, but it does go with it.
Now I do agree that at least Jack's contribution here makes this a really good song. Sway Lee,
He almost ruined it. I get what you're saying. He almost ruined it. Almost. If Jack wasn't on the song, but
like if it
sometimes,
was, because this is a 5-minute song, and if it was all Sway Lee, I wouldn't be able to listen to it consistently.
oh yeah, no. Jack came in and did his thing.
And like I said, like this is what we're talking about as far as like providing a breather between like certain people. Like this is an in-song example. Like Jack Harlow kind of stopping Sway Lee from,
Killing it.
in a way, yeah. Whereas like I don't have that kind of drawback with Ruben Vincent here. Like I don't listen to this one and think like, man, this could have been good. This could have been better.
Yeah.
I think it was like it's good as is. Like I don't.
You don't need a feature on it.
Yeah, I literally see no problems.
I kind of, because the thing is,
So it's a
it's a
bit
lot of.
unfair for Jack Harlow to like not be like in the next kind of rounds, but I think Automatic would have had the better chance of doing it because it was just kind of him,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that like this one would last longer than Automatic if it was up against that one.
You know what? For the first time though, I think you've changed my mind. So I think because it's a lot of songs that I have in my playlist that was like by an original artist, but like the feature kind of saved it, which is why it's in there. And I kind of like I've always been like, well, I can't really say that he's a better artist or the song's better than something else because well, he didn't really do good on that song. The dude he got paid or who paid he paid to get on the song with him kind of basically made that his song. So yeah, I'm gonna probably have to go with No Problems here.
I'm not saying that this is gonna win it, but like
Oh
long
yeah,
term,
yeah, no.
I'm fine with this one having this one right now.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have Little Skies of Magic versus Youngblood and Denzel Curry with Lemonade.
Uh, this is a hard one. These are two pretty good songs.
Yeah, Lemonade shocked me.
Uh, uh,
And I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna have to pause it and I'm gonna have to like remember like who this one is. I didn't have to like remember it because it says lemonade a couple times, and lemonade, like the word itself, is the one thing that's kind of bringing it back. Like you could have said this and like and let something else be the title. That's kind of where I feel weird about it here.
yeah,
But to its credit, this one is a song where at least it knows what a guitar is,
yeah.
and it knows that it can use it and implement it well. So that's why I was like shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, like this thing remembers what an electric guitar is.
Uh, it's kind of because I like both of these songs. I really do. It's kind of like which one would you rather prefer, and which one do you think will go farther? Um, to be honest, I'm cool with whichever one you want to let through. To be honest,
Now, drawback there is that this is a constant reminder of what could have been in the other songs in which we're just clearly giving a pass to. You know, like
yeah,
we're just like, yeah, we're not really gonna think about it because there's nothing much to think about. It's kind of a nothing song. There's like this one shows us that yeah, you could have potential. Like you still remember the other genre that you left out. And it's kind of up to the artist to bring those elements back into it. And if you remember what won our last week or our last bracket, like that song was all about like, you know, fusing the two genres together and it's still making it an entertaining matchup that is enjoyable for both genres. And here, this was kind of a like a oh wow, it's a sigh of relief here. But I don't like how this one has to be the one to stand out. Because then like the verses continue and then it just kind of goes back into what everything else was doing. It was pretty much just like the hook that in which I remember. And I remember for different reasons, but that's pretty much the only part of the song that I remember. I'm okay with I'm actually okay with letting Magic go, but I just want to let people know that like, hey, if you're a rock fan and you went through these track lists and you got disappointed, this one you could, you know, you could like.
because it's not all the way a rock song, but it kind of reminisces it a little bit.
But it's also like a reminder of like, oh yeah, this is what you're missing, by the way. Like not
Yeah,
only to you as the listener, but also to EA themselves as the people responsible for putting this stuff together. So I don't know if it's going to win overall, but I do want to be able to make that statement.
you know, after explaining all of that, I think I think I'm gonna let Magic edge it out, just barely, not by a lot because it's not really a clear cut winner, but I'll probably let it edge it out barely.
And I am not saving Lemonade. Despite everything that I just said, I'm not saving it because it's not too good of a rap song for me to miss, and it's not too good of anything else for me to miss either.
Yeah,
So it's like it just felt good to know in the mix of everything else here that it exists, but it's not enough. So that'll do that one. And now we're going to move on to round 3, which, all right, I guess we'll just kind of do that. So now we have Belly and Shanisa with How I'm Feeling, and Anderson Paak, Cut Him In, Rich Cross.
good man.
Easy enough. All right, here's another one, though. HD Been Dope with Top, Smino with Backstage Pass.
Backstage barely made it past. The last one is not making it past. This one I'm gonna have to take Top.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you here, too. Now we have Sally Sosa with number 1 with IDK with 24.
I'm edging towards 24, but I'm also could take number 1. Probably got to go with 24.
Yeah, there's just not enough of this one for me to.
Yeah. And the song was.
I guess that's kind of like the one good thing about like, a short song. It's like you'd wish it was longer.
But you don't know if they would have ruined it if it was longer.
Possibly. So I'm gonna let 24 go here. Now we have Till I Die versus Time Flies.
Time flies.
You know what? I think I'm gonna have one save. I'm gonna use my save opportunity for Till I Die.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think that having Dylan Francis here really increases the quality of the background beat and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's another good song that you can sneakily find in here. But I understand what time flies. Now we have Hit Boy with No L's versus Token with No Game.
What you know do you want to take? Let's go no game.
Fair enough. No L's. Well, change your name now. Got one L. All right, now we have Blitz versus Backup.
I was waiting for Blitz to come up against a good song that wasn't Madden related, and it finally did. I've been waiting.
How did Blitz make it to like round 3?
It's just because it was
at
one
act
the
up,
first
sound ready, set.
because the first one it came up against wasn't really, it was just a clear cut better song. The second one was like, well, which Madden song do you want? To be honest, like yeah, but Backup was clear cut favorite on that one.
All right, now we got Denzel Curry with Shawshank versus Terrell Hines with On Fire.
Oh man, I love both of these songs.
I'm gonna let you think about this.
I love both of these songs. Get Shawshank with the beat, the rhythm, the flow, Terrell Hines on fire. I feel like singing that song right now. I don't know if I want to though. Sing it in my head. I kind of just like the reason I'm gonna take On Fire is because of the beat change up that it had in between. It was like, okay, someone put me out because I'm on fire, and then after that little 40-second part right there, then it changes to the kind of sped up part, more beat, more kind of drums into it, more bass.
Yeah. I had to remember this one, so I'm glad that you
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take On Fire with that one.
All right. Let's go with that decision. Now we have No Problems versus Magic.
This feels like a hard and easy one for me. It's probably because I've listened to Magic way more. So, like, if you like just put on the song Magic right now, I probably know word for word what it is. I have listened to No Problems off of Madden a couple of times, but if I was to be completely honest, I'd probably take Magic.
Yeah, I can see that. So now we're gonna have to get into the conversation about like which feels more of a fit for the actual game that it's a part of.
Yeah.
Which is kind of tough because like I don't really like the game.
I don't see
I
the thing
know
is,
that the sport of football should be enough of a hint to like let you in on like what you could be feeling here.
the thing is
No.
with Madden, really since I started like actually playing Madden, which was probably like 20, because that's when I started playing online games. These games make me want to break a wall sometimes, just because of the pool that they pull. Um, like I said, we haven't really. The sad thing is, you could say Madden 22 was maybe the best Madden we've had, and it still got bullied by a lot of people. It wasn't really liked in the community. They didn't really like the updates or the Ultimate Team and everything. 24, I haven't really played it, but some people are saying it's a pretty good game. But yeah, the production of the game hasn't really been its best. I guess you could say the best part of each game was the playlist. Like, it wasn't the actual game; it was songs you listened to on the game. Um, for me though, if I would just have to go with something that was pretty much better for the game, better for me, and just overall a better song, I'd probably have to go with "Cut 'Em In" right here.
Now, saving is still an option.
Oh no, because what I want to see what song is Magic going up against backup.
24 with time flies. No game backup. And an on fire Magic.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. Holy, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to take Cut 'Em In with this one. Top is a good song, but I'm not saving it yet. I'm. It wasn't. I knew it was gonna make it to like the quarterfinals or past like round 3, but I just never thought it would like kind of win the entire thing. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I think it would give it a run for its money.
Yeah, it would. It most
So,
definitely would.
all right, so now we'll let Cut 'Em In go. Now we have 24 with time flies.
Uh, which one would you rather prefer? Like, which one just kind of fits you better?
Um, what fits me better? Honestly, neither.
Because I like Time Flies. I do.
Time flies is
Kinda.
something that like when I was making this and I was like listening to it, I got algorithms of like people making shorts about like, oh hey, well, this was the best Madden like song or in this game. And it was a general consensus that Time Flies was gonna win, at least for the year it was a part of.
Yeah.
And
It may seem like a weird song. It kind of is, to be completely honest with you. But I don't know. I just kind of like it better than 24.
so yeah, maybe we'll go off for personal preference here. I don't think that like to me, none of these ones feel like a Madden sound
Like, they fit
in the
the game.
traditional way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this was pretty much only always going to be a personal preference at this point. So now we have no game versus backup.
Ah. Is reinforcements on the way? Yes, they are. I'm gonna have to take back up on this one. Don Toliver just kind of went off on this song, and he neither like what you said. A lot of these next couple of songs aren't going to be whether they fit the game more, but it's more just like a which song is better and which one do you think is better. In my opinion, I think Backup was better than No Game.
Yeah, you're not getting any arguments from me over here on this one. This one, uh, on fire versus Magic.
Ah, ah. Uh,
So let's talk about it.
two favorite songs on here. One of my two favorites on here. Um, I thought both of these songs had a pretty high chance of making it to the final four, and even of the last two. Um, I just want to go listen to these songs and like just see like which one would be better. Um,
Which one do you think wins this bracket?
if I'm gonna be, I don't know. That's the thing because either both of these have a like they're
Because
neck and neck.
because what I'm saying is like one of them you could save,
Oh yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
but it's just which one would you want to save, and then which one would you want to let move on?
Yeah. Which one though has a better chance of knocking off Cut 'Em In or whatever song it goes up against in the final round?
Sure.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably going to be one of these two songs that makes it to the final round. Um, Cut 'Em In does kind of relate, or it doesn't relate, but it kind of has the same tone or kind of meaning to On Fire. Kind of more singing, less rapping. You know, rapping and singing makes it to it. Magic is literally just all rap. There is no singing into it. Um, I'm gonna say I'm gonna let On Fire go into the next round, and I'm gonna save Magic.
All right.
I was hoping these two songs wouldn't go against each other until like the semifinals or the finals. I really was.
Well, now we're in the semifinals.
Mm.
So now,
Cut 'Em In and Time Flies. I'm sorry, Rico. I'm gonna have to let Cut 'Em In go by. Cut 'Em In's going to the finals.
I think you said, "I'm sorry, Rick." Like, why are you apologizing to Rick Ross?
I may have said Rico. I'm sorry, but yeah, Cut 'Em In's going to the next round.
Sorry, Mr. Nasty.
More nasty enough. Going to be a pretty good finals.
Well, how do you feel
Pretty
about
good.
this one, though?
It's hard because I listened to both of these songs a lot in the last couple of years. I listen to Time Flies a lot before games, but I also listen to Cut 'Em In. Time Flies is a thing before I listen to for like a 7-on-7 game, basketball game, high school game. Cut 'Em In, I can listen to that whenever when I'm, like I said, happy, sad, glad, before a game, after a game. If we could listen to music during the game, I'd probably listen to that. So yeah, probably.
I think that's one thing that kind of gets lost in translation is that there's a good chance when you play a kind of game like this where you're going to have to go back to the loading screen after a loss, right? And when you do that, do you have something in your musical arsenal to kind of get me back up in that cheery mood to go back into another one or to hype me up for another game?
Cut 'Em In does that for
And
me.
I think Kudaman could do that over Time Flies. Because I'm like, if I just lost a game and then I
I'm
go
not gonna
back,
listen to Time Flies. I'm just being honest.
right? So I think Time Flies, you have to be a little bit more picky as to like when you could listen to it and like when it could take over. And that's not really like a fault of the song itself. It's just the fault of like the environment. It doesn't benefit a song like that. And that's where I think where Cut Him In will kind of pick up the slack.
Win, loss, draw.
Yeah, so it's like whether you just had a blowout victory, or whether you just lost a snooze fest, or you just lost a game winner or whatever. Like whatever kind of mood, like that song. Listening back, if that was like on the loading screen, it wouldn't let you feeling. It wouldn't let you be feeling too bad after that. So I mean, that's kind of like my opinion on like why I'm okay with letting this one go, because like I said, a lot of people think agree with this one being the best,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that he did a bad job. What I'm saying is that sometimes it just doesn't always work. So I think we'll look at him and go here. And now we have backup and on fire.
Which one, honestly, do you think is better?
I might say backup.
I think has a better shot against Cutter Man. That's what we should be at. Which one do you think has a better shot against Cutter Man? Would it still be backup, or do you think on fire would kind of be like it's neck and neck with it too?
Well, let's put it through the same test. Let's say you just came off a loss. Going back on loading screen. Which one would you rather listen to?
I would listen to both. But if it was if it was personally, it'd probably be back up because on fire is kind of saying like, yeah, like I'm doing it. I'm in that zone. Well, actually, no. Yeah, it'd be back up. It'd be back up, especially like after a tight loss. Like you came back, you were down 15-0, came back and lost 31-26 or something like that. Yeah, it'd probably be back up.
So I'm gonna let that one go through.
And we are at the Madden 2021 and 22 song finals. Cut them in.
Spider-Man versus backup. I wouldn't have thought that either of these ones made it this far. I don't know what I had in mind to like be the final representation.
Might
But
have
like
been
now that we're here like discussing it,
Cut them in was a great song. Backup was a great song. It was hard. There really is no loser here because both of these songs are pretty good, pretty matched up together. Um, they can't really say that like either one of these songs are clear cut betters. If I'm gonna be completely honest and say which one, if you had to listen to this song on repeat in a school day, it would probably be Cut 'Em In. I think Cut 'Em In is probably the best song that Madden has put on the soundtracks in 2021 and 22. Backup is like a one of the like a .1 close favorite. Like it's almost there, but like just how Rick Ross went off on that song. Anderson .Paak did his thing. The song in itself not only connected to like sports, but connected to life too. Not saying backup didn't, but like Cut 'Em In kind of connected more. I probably have to go with Cut 'Em In.
so do you want to save backup?
Yeah, most definitely. Not the soundtrack, but all of this almost made me forget AJ got hurt earlier today. Hopefully he's good. Him, McGarry, Onyemata was limping off that last drive. Landman too. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good song list.
Well, folks, cut him in your winner. And there's a reason as to why I was talking about like there needs to be a variety, there needs to be a change, and there needs to be that kind of attitude within a Madden song, right? And if we're looking at it from those angles and from the varieties of ways in which you would be able to play Madden or like however you would experience the game, even if it was like a new or an older title, I think Cut 'Em In could be one of those songs where, well, let me say this let me ask you this before I say it. Do you think Cut 'Em In works just in these three games, or do you think it would work in another game from like 10 years ago?
It probably would have worked in another game from 10 years ago.
So that's kind of where I see it, right? Some of these ones clearly had an age to them.
Like Time Flies was definitely like a between 2018 and 2023 type of song. Same with Magic.
Whereas I don't think Cut 'Em In would really feel old, or it would really feel like too new to fit in with some of the older stuff.
Maybe that's just because both of these especially Rick Ross has been around since like 2004, 5. So maybe that's what made it. But yeah, I could. It definitely wouldn't feel like who made this song in 2012? Like who thought about that right now? But yeah.
So I think that's gonna do it. We might get into another stretch of Madden games. We might get into another game series entirely. I don't know, because I kind of let Trey take over this one. I kind of took over the first selection, so I might like take turns after that. So the next time that we do this, uh it might be my selection to see like what series of games we'll go into next.
For sure.
So, Dave, good to see you here. Anybody else here was here? Kind of catching us in the very last second, and we're about to get out of here. But if you want to listen on the watch back, go ahead and do so. So we appreciate you tuning in, making it this far. If I had to make a guess as to what one we'll go to, Jerry, you familiar with the ATV Off-Road Fury series of games?
Seen them a couple of times, but if you send me the playlist or send me a couple videos of people playing it, I'll probably end up remembering it.
I think that's what I'm gonna head towards. Because
Okay.
that one, I mean, if you want to talk about variety, that one had all the variety. And you're gonna see it in just like a couple of songs. Like I was showing it to a coworker. I was like, well, I'm gonna give you this song, I'm gonna give you this song, I'm gonna give you this song. They're all from the same game, and I want you to tell me, like, does it lean too heavy on either direction? And after like 12 songs in, he still couldn't decide. That's the variety that I miss. That's the variety that gave you a template to figure out what you would like growing up. And this is what, like, it's not really present in Madden anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, cool. You're gonna grow up. You're gonna like Madden. You're gonna like rap and hip hop, and then that's the only thing you're gonna be doing. Because that's what the last like 5 or 6 years gave us. It didn't give us any difference. It was just a matter of like which burger was your favorite. So I think we'll go back and then we'll discover some other soundtracks that had a lot more variety to them. And then we'll go from there. So until next time, I'm going to send him the link so that he knows what I'm talking about. And that'll be that. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you probably next Sunday. Is that good enough for you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next Sunday, maybe around this time, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little later. We don't know yet, but well, take care. Have a good
Later.
one.